Hey guys, welcome to another brand new episode of Vision CA Career Talks. This is CA Harshit Shah, one of the mentors at Vision CA. Along with me, I have PA Meet Nathwani, another mentor at Vision CA. Our guest today, as I like to call him, is a jack of all trades, along with being a master in all of them. He's none other than CA Rudesh Pankhania. Thank you so much, Rudesh, for accepting our invitation and gracing our Vision CA panel.
Thank you so much. It's been kind pleasure, and thank you first of all, Meet and Harshit, for approaching me and getting me on board for this amazing talk that you guys have started. I think Vision CA is doing amazing and helping them around with not just mentoring, a lot of things that is needed across their journey. And I've seen, of course, Harshit and Meet, doing other interviews as well. You guys are doing fab job, and to do all this along with your corporate job and at work from home online, I can totally understand being so difficult. So coordinating every aspect of it is just flawless from your side, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Thank
Just
you. Thank you.
before we dive into the conversation, I'll just give a brief introduction about Ritesh. He cleared his chartered accountancy 10 long years back in 2010. After that, he has pursued a plethora of activities. To name a few, he has been an analyst with Deutsche Bank. He has worked as a practicing chartered accountant, as a partner, specializing in bank audit, corporate internal audits. He has also been a professor at various institutes, visiting faculty, taking trainings for GDPI's public speaking at ICAI, and more so, he is a wedding choreographer as well as an anchor. And to top all of that, he is a mentor and a counselor to any student who approaches him or any chartered accountant who approaches him. He's been a mentor in some way to us as well. That is all about him. We'll talk more about it during the course of our conversation. Meet, you can go on with the first question which we have for him.
Just to add one point, a go-to person for anything you want in any part of your career or anything you want in your personal life, a go-to person is Rudesh Pankhania. So yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
Welcome. So let's start with our first question. Rudesh bhai, can you please go through your journey from your schooling to your idea of doing CA?
I think for me, CA was never by choice very specifically. It's been, if you are God's grace bright in school time. So I've been a ranker throughout my school time. One thing that I think few of them do know. So I've always received a first rank in school time. Do not ask for college, but definitely I hold that record in my school since junior KG till 10th standard. So it was always, and I always wanted to be a doctor very specifically. Something that I'd always, thought when you were a kid, you've thought, how does your name look like? So it was Dr. Rudesh Pankhania. Typically, when I came in, I think 9th standard odd, I had an elder brother who has been a science student, but he's an engineer. So very typically, and I'd seen the things that he used to do and a lot of effort that he had to put in terms of doing studies and everything. And I always wanted to get into my co-curriculars as well. So right in school time, I was a part of, these leadership programs, elocutions, dance, dramatics, etc., etc. And I always wanted to continue. And I actually gave a thought, that if I'm going to pick up science and then, of course, medicals, will I be able to do all these things? It was a question mark because, that time a lot of people tell you, oh, you cannot do all this. You'll have to only study and everything. But trust me, today I feel, things that I've done by God's grace, that would have been also possible. We do not know very typically. So it's just that I was like, okay, commerce le lenge, and took up commerce. So by God's grace, again, in commerce, you're a little bright. The very, automatically your option drills down to being a chartered accountant and getting into a CA field. So that's how I think my CA journey right after 11, 12 standard, starting being in CA, and it just continued thereafter. I think that was my start journey of being CA, and the crowd, that group I was in. So I was in Podar College, did my graduation and post graduation in Podar. So I think you get that entire group of people who are doing CA only. So you are like, acha, main kya karega? So CA hi karega. So at that time also I was involved in my co-curriculars, dramatics and everything. But I never thought that I wanted to just do that. I always मतलब थोड़ा प्राइड लगता है कि भाई ये डांसर कौन है, तो एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट टर्न डांसर है, तो क्या हो जाता है ना भाई, तो वहां पे एंकरिंग और कोरियोग्राफी का भी क्लाइंट मिल जाता है और ऑफिस के लिए इनकम टैक्स ऑडिट का भी क्लाइंट मिल जाता है, तो दोनों तरीके से फायदा है. सो आई थिंक आई ट्राई टू कनेक्ट दैट्स व्हाट माय फ्रेम ऑफ थिंग्स वर्क. दैट्स व्हाट बेसिक शॉर्ट जर्नीज.
Brand marketing at its best. So it was a really amazing story. मतलब कहाँ doctor and कहाँ CA. It was a very amazing story. So next question we have with us is from where did you did your articleship and your journey after that?
Okay. So let's when you talk about articleship, I think just to tell you guys, so I come from a background where we were supposed to do 3.5 years of articleship, and because we were the first CPT batch who appeared for CA final, so the CPT background. So very typically I did my articleship from 3 different places. First year was different place. So when I did my transfer from first year to second year, transfers were freely available at that point in time. You could take transfer anytime. So मैंने almost जैसे ही first year खत्म होने वाला था वो ले लिया. फिर second year में आया तो transfer were going to get closed and I took that second transfer on the last day. And तो second transfer भी 1 year के बाद ले लिया. And then last 1.5 year. To give a very quick insight, we started articleship right after CPT. तो CPT के बाद आप आर्टिकलशिप शुरू कर रहे हो तो आपको कुछ आता नहीं है वेरी टिपिकली द वे यू start articleship after inter, you've got knowledge of tax because you've cleared, you've studied that, but in CPT you've yet not studied, so you're still extremely raw unless you come from that background of home कि घर पे आप business discuss कर रहे हो या tax discuss कर रहे हो, finance discuss कर रहे हो, which has not been in my case specifically. So I think my first year of articleship was a small mid-sized firm. In fact, all 3 years of articleship were mid-sized firms. So first year was in Bandra, which is a suburb. And I think I ended up doing everything from basic accounting to basic taxation, everything that a small mid-sized firm does. From there, from a suburb, I moved my second articleship firm to, what people would call as village, in Nalasopara, where I stay. So, across in Mumbai, from Bandra to second year being Nalasopara, that's where I'm born and brought up. Because at that time, we had our CA inter, that is we call IPCC, PCC exams. So I thought, let me just take it near to my house so that I don't have to travel at that point in time because, college tabhi itna nahi tha. So again, wahan pe, it was a small firm, I would say from mid-size to a small firm, which I came across. And wahan pe cheezein alag tarike se hoti thi, So I ended up learning extreme basic nitty-gritties of taxation, small audits. So mid-size audit kiye the, lekin small audit mein what do you see? You do not know unless you actually do it. So I think I ended up learning all of those nitty-gritties, pure accounting of tally, everything is what I ended up learning in the second year. And then I think second year got done, and till the time I was graduated as well. And I was like, abhi 1.5 year bacha hai, 1.5 saal bacha hai, let's take a jump. So I took the third firm at Kolaba, which is in town. So I jumped from suburbs to village and village to town. So covering all 3 different parts of Mumbai. So, and third firm was high mid-sized firm, typically would say, which specialized in specifically bank audits or big company internal audits, which I would say. So that's where I think I built my base of bank audits very specifically. And in my articleship of last year, thanks to my sir, he made me involved in getting clients also. So very typically, what used to happen, I'll give you an example. Because I was in CA final tabhi, and I always had this कि भाई पढ़ाई को भी time देना है. So he used to ask articles कि मेरे साथ कोई एक जना चाहिए, who would want to come. So not everybody would like to roam around कि भाई कार में जाके बैठना है और उधर अपना काम नहीं है, तो better people to think, ऑफिस में बैठ के हम audit करेंगे. And अपने को तो क्या थोड़ा घूमने को अच्छा ही लगता है. And I used to think कार में 1 घंटा बैठना है, तो कार में 1 घंटा I can sit and read the book also because I have to finish my homework. So for me it was always a dual purpose. So 1 hour ऑफिस के टाइम में कार में बैठना है तो पढ़ाई हो जा रहा है, and साथ में you're getting to interact with new people to get sales done. So I think thanks to my boss of articleship who has made me do that. A lot of people don't like, but I love that thing. So that was specifically in bank audit, right from every smallest public sector bank to a higher public sector bank. This has been my journey of 3 years of articleship. And trust me, of course, I'm in touch with all my three bosses. All my transfers were in consonance with all of them. And in fact, I've gone and stayed at their houses also. So
Harshit, do you have any questions for Harshit, for Rudesh bhai?
I mean, it has been an inspiring and rich articleship experience. Who could have thought that you can have so much of interesting learnings in a span of 3.5 years? So, Rudesh bhai, once you cleared your final CA examinations, so what was going in your head? What is it? Did you have like a clear thought कि मुझे ये करना है? Because it was a herd mentality at that point of time. There would have been a few corporate jobs which everybody would have been pursuing. एंड आपका इंटरेस्ट ऑलरेडी को करिकुलर्स में इतना था, टीचिंग में था. सो हाउ डिड यू प्रोसेस योर रिजल्ट्स एंड क्या आपका थॉट प्रोसेस था कि मुझे डिग्री मिल जाए उसके बाद व्हाट इज इट दैट आई रियली वांट टू डू?
Correct. So of course, while we think of the long term, I don't. So this is what I have realized in my 10 years of, possibly training journey, while I've met so many students and members. 5% of the population will have this cutthroat कि हमको ये ही करना है, very specific, pinpointed, while the remaining 95% will think of a short term and then let's see what happens next, because depending on what opportunity will flow. So for me, I think it has always been like that, not just today, but right since, extremely long time. That's what in articleship, I never thought I would want to take a transfer, jump from one transfer to other. Same, just to quickly share, I've done my all 3 classes from different place. So CPT was different classes, CA Inter was different, and CA Final was also different. Not that I don't stick around, but it was with due permission of them only. I used to be like, okay, let's just do this. So that has worked. So when I think I became CA also, I was very aspiring. Of course, I got a offer from the existing articleship firm, and my boss was very kind of that he said, you join us and start doing bank audits. And I was like, अरे सर थोड़ा corporate वेरपोर्ट में जाते हैं, थोड़ा धमाल करते हैं. And I was very much I want to take up a corporate job, and specifically in bank, because bank audit किया था तो क्या वो चीजें पसंद भी आने लगी थी. So I started working. I applied in campus, of course, and campus में all you get those company say listing. So I got like around 16 to 18 listings. उसमें से we have to select 5. हमारे time पे 5 we can select. I think now it is 4, right? If I'm not mistaken. Now you can give 4.
Absolutely.
So at our time 5 था, and all 5 that I gave were of banks, because I was very sure कि भाई बैंक में ही job करना है. Because बैंक audit किया था तो वो थोड़ा सा क्या है, वो base वो अच्छा लगने लगता है, थोड़ा सा cream job लगता था, वो बैंक में काम करता है आदमी. So just on that case, so I think that's how I accepted the Deutsche Bank offer via the CA campus placement, and thanks to ICI for having amazing campus placements. So started working there, and while I wanted to have, of course, co-curriculars, but I never thought actually that I would want to convert all my co-curriculars passion into profession necessarily. That was never specific plan. Like a lot of people would say, "Arey, a chartered accountant can become a dancer too." Of course he can become, but there is no, you can't put a liner on that very specifically. कि otherwise तुमने CA क्यों ही पढ़ाई किया? I would say if you are पहले से determined from 11th standard कि तुमको choreographer बनना है, it's better to get trained as a dancer at that point in time. Unless you are not very clear, very specifically. So for me, it was never that I want to become a choreographer only, I want to become dramatic. I always wanted to study, or rather that is why after chartered accountancy also, I still study today. So I did my LLB, I did my DISA course, I did my post-graduation, I've cleared NET, NET, the UGC NET. So I keep studying even today because I love studying. So very typically at that point in time also it was कि भाई job ले लेंगे and all the co-curriculars will keep doing. And that's where when I completed my GMCS very specifically, because we've always seen as a CA student बहुत सारा opportunity मिलता है कि where we could go and deliver speeches and everything. So as a CA member I was like अब क्या करें. So I was comparatively very active. I mean, if a lot of you must be my GMCS students, so they may have seen as a professor how I am. So just imagine if I'm on a student side, I was mad. Matlab, I was unnecessarily superly active as a student there. And trust me, that is why I got my first lecture as GMCS also. So on my 15th day of GMCS, we had the interview. You have this mock interview session in your last day of MCS, correct?
Last day,
So
yes.
on my last day of MCS, we had this mock interview. And luckily, my mock interview was taken by the main coordinator. So she said, what type of mock interview would you like to give? तो मैंने कहा कि just imagine if you have to recruit me as a faculty यहाँ पे, तो वैसा वाला mock interview ले लो. And trust me, that went good. And 3 months बाद she's like, are you interested? मैंने बोला, of course I'm interested, to take the MCS lectures. And she said, पैसा भी मिलेगा. मैंने बोला, I never thought I will get paid for my talking abilities, because I keep talking since the age of whatever that young things. And in school I used to scream, and people used to be like, bus kar bhai, bus kar. And school or college debates and everything. But luckily कि भाई पैसा भी मिलने लगा. But this was along with my job. So in Deutsche Bank, I was in US market support. So US holidays मिलता था. So US holiday मिल रहा है तो इंडिया में तो काम चालू है. तो जिस दिन US का holiday उस दिन तो मेरा lecture GMCS का used to make schedule accordingly हो. Weekend Saturdays lectures होते थे. And coincidentally, my Deutsche Bank timing was officially 1 to 10. So I used to take morning lectures, then go back to office and do all of those. And people used to wonder कि क्यों इतना करना है जीवन में. But I used to enjoy doing that. And I think that's what I've done in my 1.5 year of stint at Deutsche Bank. The managers, the VPs there were extremely supportive. My manager, I still remember, told me one thing. You want to do n number of things. He's like, यहाँ पे ये सब कोई नहीं करता, but तू करता है, मेरे को problem नहीं है. He's like, you do Z number of things, I don't mind, but your work should not get affected. मैंने बोला, आपने गलत जगह परमिशन दे दी सर, आप फंसोगे, मुझे मत बोलना. He's like, काम में, we used to have this, those yellow, orange, green parameters. Green मतलब सब ठीक चल रहा है. He's like, उससे नीचे नहीं आना चाहिए कभी. I'm like, done है. तो काम तो अपना up to date एकदम ऐसा करके. I think Deutsche Bank, I was involved in all the co-curricular activities, everything that is possible over there, including all the activities there as well. So I think that's what a quick journey of at that time CA and what went in mind to just start with, and then everything then flowed whatever I'm being doing today.
रुदेश भाई, what you said is आपके मैनेजर ने आपको क्वेश्चन पूछा एंड लोग आपको क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि क्यों इतना सब करना है. बट क्यों तो ठीक है, बिकॉज यू आर पैशनेट अबाउट इट. काफी सारे लोग पैशनेट होते हैं अबाउट थिंग्स अपार्ट फ्रॉम एजुकेशन, बट व्हाट मोस्ट पीपल फेल टू डू इज टू पुट एफर्ट्स एंड परस्यू इट रिलीजियसली. So if you can give insights ki what does it take to do something which you really like apart from what is giving you money and apart from your day-to-day corporate job, because I am sure motivation, self-motivation लगता ही होगा. You have a job from 1 to 10, you have to wake up at 7, take a lecture. It takes immense amount of motivation to wake yourself up and do that, but it is something which you really like. So what are those tips or insights ki how can one pursue a corporate job but also try and work on his passion and maybe try to create something out of that as well?
Harshit, what I believe is every individual needs to segregate himself in either of the aspects. Whether he actually wants to convert his passion into profession. So there are people who will take up a corporate job, and then जो passion है उसको हमको hindsight long term में के passion से profession convert कर रहा है, and you start making efforts. So you're auto motivated towards that कि मेरे को इस चीज का business बनाना है, तो उस पे आप दिन रात लग जाओगे. Second कि भाई अगर ऐसा नहीं करना है, तो if you're really passionate about, you will end up doing whatsoever. Otherwise, that is not your real passion. coming internally passion, but that passion is just influenced because of a lot of things. One of the main thing could be a social media. Like I click on social media, it's like, the biggest example of markets like DMart and all of these this grocery big market. You take a list of 10 things to go and bring, but you end up buying 20 things, right? Because वो वहां पे चीजें रखी वैसी जाती है कि आप ऑटोमेटिकली उसकी तरफ ड्रॉ डाउन हो जाओगे, so you get influenced towards. So then what happens is, if I see 10 of my colleagues along with job are doing this thing also, तो मेरे मन में ऑटोमेटिक लगने लगता है यार मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, okay? And then you start doing, but you don't get that zeal because that passion did not come from you within, because that came from there. So to each on his own. Like I have many friends who are into pure corporate job. They work today also, like 10 years down the line, they work from 9 to 6 or 9 to 7, and then they don't pursue any co-curricular activities, anything. They don't like that. They like to spend time maybe with family or maybe close set of their friends. Like we have a close set of group of friends, so they would want to keep to limit to that. So that's what I'm saying. You individually need to understand that my passion is deriving from internal or external. If it's deriving from internal, it will always work. If from external, it doesn't work. तो वो क्या हो जाता है, it remains for 2 to 3 months. मतलब अभी हर्षित मेरे को मोटिवेशन देगा, सर जिम विम जाओ, तो मैं जाएगा 2-3 महीना एकदम फुल ऑन जाएगा. वो 3-6 महीना 6 पैक बनाने के बाद अगेन it won't happen. I'll automatically, because that came from outside. So वो outside से भी आता है, तो it takes immense time to get into you. That is where something, we call it leaders are born or leaders are made. You can make a leader provided you are ready to put that rigorous effort, the way we call a 21-day rule. तो किसी के लिए कोई चीज 21 day में हो जाती है, किसी को शायद 210 days भी लग जाता है. Something of that sort. Like I am extremely, I think of every day going to a gym. Absolutely every day before night, I'm sleeping, I think I want to go to gym tomorrow, but फिर मैं gymnasium सब नींद में ही कर लेता हूँ सुबह. So I'm like, okay, मतलब कि भाई ठीक है, okay, होने दो, मस्त हो रहा है. So that doesn't come from, of course, you get inspired when I look at some great videos a lot of students put up, because social media, एक वैसा कोई video दिखोगे तो it will show you automatically everything, right? You feel like, अरे यार, मतलब ऐसा body अपना भी होना चाहिए, you'll get great looks up. But then it doesn't, get into to that level. Yes, so that is where, मतलब आप थोड़ा कोई मेरे को push भी कर देगा तो शायद 2-4 महीने आप चले भी जाओगे. फिर वो external factor आपके internal तक कितना जाता है, उस पे depend करता है, and then depends on your priority list. So each of us have, our own priorities कि मुझे जीवन में कब क्या चाहिए. So that is where it belongs to. But I believe everybody, there can be always one thing which you may be passionate about. It could be, just connecting to your close friends or doing something for leadership, for authority. You can always remove at least half an hour every day towards it. Even half an hour ho jata hai na, it works. Half an hour every day, typically, or 3.5 hours per week. It works. It could be writing. It will automatically accumulate and give a better of you, is what I would believe.
कभी spark हो जाए पता नहीं.
Agree. Because आप करते रहते हो तो क्या है, वो automatic, because we're natural individuals, right? We are not man-made machines. So things have to flow naturally in to get naturally output. Otherwise, it won't happen. It cannot be man-made.
And also because abhi there are people who tend to look at the overall personality and not just your educational curriculum. So it is good to have something to add to your personality and not just your education and CA degree. So that is where it helps you.
Absolutely. Today, what happens is corporates also look, in fact, corporates have this, whenever they're taking you in, they will check your LinkedIn profiles, they will check your social profiles. So that is extremely important, that how have you connected, and doesn't matter whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. People will feel I'm an extrovert. I would want to say this. People will feel I'm an extrovert, but I feel I am an introvert as well. Right, I'm to a very extent possibly an introvert as well, but I talk, of course. So that's where it will all depend on how do you portray yourself towards anything.
Right.
So another question I have for you is, सी आई थिंक बहुत लोग ये करते हैं कि हाँ ये मुझे करना है, बहुत लोग स्टार्ट भी कर देते हैं, बट द ओनली थिंग इज दे कैन नॉट सस्टेन इट और एंड नहीं कर पाते हैं. सो व्हाट क्वेश्चन आई हैव इज, इट is it okay that you start something and you're not ending up doing, and you just just keep it as a hobby, as a side hustle, and you move on with the next one? So वो एक next phase में जाने के लिए जो एक छोड़ने का जो ओरिजिनल जो आइडिया था वो नहीं हो पा रहा है या नहीं हम लोग परस्यू कर पा रहे, तो वो एक आइडिया छोड़ने का जो ट्रांजिशन जर्नी है, have any insights on that?
Sure. I think it's like every book that you start, you may not finish it. It's absolutely fine. I think I've read immense book. मैंने शायद जिनके सिर्फ 10 पेजेस पढ़े, 15 पेजेस पढ़े, या फुल बुक भी पढ़ी, आधी पढ़ी एंड छोड़ दी है. So I think everything that you start doesn't have to end as far as आपने उसमें से कोई learning ले ली and you move ahead. It's absolutely fine. So a lot of things, what happens is you start something, but it doesn't work out in the manner that you actually thought. It could be studies, it could be, some of your startup, it could be, any co-curricular activities related things. That's absolutely fine. As far as if you learned all the non-technical things also. मतलब let's say an example, मैं गिटार बजाना सीख रहा हूँ, ठीक है, and वो मैं passion के लिए सीख रहा हूँ, ठीक है. So and after a point in time you're not doing, but उससे आपने क्या किया? You may have performed in front of a lot of people, right? You may have connected to a lot of people, right? आपका stage fear गया. So those were all the non-technical learnings. गिटार बजाना वो technical था, but उससे जो non-technical learnings आपने ली वो तो आप लेके आगे बढ़ो, right? So exactly. What happens is, and I think the famous dialogue from none other than ये जवानी है दीवानी, जिंदगी में कितना भी कर लो कुछ ना कुछ तो छूट ही जाएगा, right?
छूट ही जाएगा.
It's impossible, it's literally impossible to have done everything together. So all it's possible is you are doing little of everything, provided you like that. Like a lot of people say कि तुम एक ही चीज करो, there's no harm. A lot of people like, or less people like कि हमको बहुत सारी अलग अलग चीजें करनी है. That's absolutely fine. So it will all depend how are you wanting to, as far as you're okay with it. See, मतलब वो वही है, कुछ करने के लिए will always have an opportunity cost. Being finance student, everybody understands an opportunity cost, right? If I'm sitting here, I definitely cannot take a lecture from 1:30 to 2:30 or any point in time I'm sitting with you guys. या कहीं मैं हूँ, so there will always be a cost. But that's how it is. I'll give you my example. I am from Podar College, and when finished 10th, I wanted to go to HR college, very specifically. वो थोड़ा frame of में भी बैठ रहा था because I stay at Nala Sopara and HR is in Church Gate. तो क्या last station है, तो parents को चिंता नहीं थी train में जाके last station पे उतरेगा. That was a major concern while selecting college, right? So traveling कैसे करोगे, because school तक आप travel नहीं किए हो. So that was always there. So very specifically, I think life would have been different if I would have been that college, your circle of friends, everything would have been. So I think what people need to understand is, while we start something, you should always know when to stop it. That is something which is extremely important, which a lot of people dil laga ke baith jate, अरे यार ऐसा कैसा. That's all right. As far as you've taken learnings, it's absolutely, just to quote, I've got a lot of friends जिन्होंने बहुत, they gave multiple attempts and, they did not want to leave, and then they finished their CA also. That is absolutely all right. I have couple of friends जिन्होंने शायद multiple attempts दिए, नहीं हुए, and then they took at that time कोई decision कि अभी ये नहीं करना है, we'll do something else, and today they are doing great in life, right? So any decision that you take, you need to decide when are you stopping that and when are you moving ahead, and then you don't have to look back. I think that is what I would always suggest is, but provided you have given full efforts. Half efforts करके कुछ भी छोड़ना ना, वो मतलब में नहीं होता है. So you will have to make sure that full efforts have been given.
Right. Rudesh, by moving on, which is close to your heart.
By the way, sorry. Any time, I hope my answers are typically fine. If any time they are vague, feel free to just let me know, Arshid and me.
Not at all.
Sure. ऐसी अभी तक तो situation आई नहीं है, because we, even though as interviewers, we are getting to learn so much. So I am sure
Exactly.
बाकी जो भी viewers है, they get to learn a lot from this. So Rudesh bhai, moving on to something which is really close to your heart, and that is public speaking. आपने बताया कि you are a good speaker, orator, and you like speaking since the very beginning, since your childhood. But for most of the CAs and how the society perceives CAs is a sort of a taboo where they consider कि हाँ हम technical aspects में subjects में strong होते हैं, but then public speaking is not our forte. So for all of those chartered accountants who want to, improve on that aspect, because that is really important. आप technically strong हो, but आप articulate नहीं कर पा रहे हो, तो then what good is the technical skill? So since you are a pro in that particular aspect, what tips or insights do you have for all the CA students or maybe freshly qualified CAs if they want to, improve their public speaking qualities in general?
I think when it comes to public speaking, very specifically, because our course is structured in that manner. So क्या हो जाता है जब हम 3 साल की आर्टिकलशिप करते हैं, पहले तो ये सब ओरिएंटेशन GMCS अर्लियर टाइम्स में नहीं था. So when you're doing 3 years of articleship, you're only working technically. Normal conversation may not help you become a pro public speaker. So the course was designed in that manner. But now, thanks to institute, you've got orientation, then they had in between got a GMCS 1, then MCS, GMCS 2, all of these. So that is one aspect which automatically helps. I think second, at institute level, I would say, the Vikasa is doing a great job, no doubt. Students can be or should be, part of various such initiatives where they could get a chance of speaking in front of people. I sometimes envy some students, some conferences. There were some student conferences, done by Institute, Vikasa at some branches. 3,000 plus CA students have attended those conferences, which was hosted, which was anchored by a CA student.
CA students.
मतलब मेरे को जलन हो गई कि मतलब as a yes me this that's why I said there are मतलब मेरे को जलन हो गई कि मेरे को ऐसे 3,000 लोगों को बोलने का मौका भी नहीं मिला जब मैं स्टूडेंट था. And मतलब that is amazing. I mean, just imagine speaking in front of 3,000 people. मतलब even एक लाइन भले तुमको सिर्फ good morning everyone बोलना हो तो भी just imagine that power that you would get, right? So I think what happens is students need to be a part, not just Vikasa. ऐसे बहुत सारे social organizations है that students can be a part of, and which does not ask for more of your time. So I think that is something which every person, every CA student need to do. I understand because of the COVID in the online zone. So typically in an online zone also, why not create videos? Like typically I would always advise, चलो अगर आपको social media पे अपना video नहीं डालना है, no problem. Prepare a speech of 1 minute. Prepare a speech of 1 minute only. 1 minute matlab typically one side of a page. One side of a page will get you done in 1.5 minute, very, typically of a normal handwriting. So prepare a speech of 1 minute. Abhi because mobile hai hamare paas, smart camera, sab kuch hota hai. Record your speech with proper actions and everything. View that. Work on that, or if you can get a a trainer who could do that, or you could just come to me, because that's what I train how to do things. Re-speak the same speech after 2 days for that 1.5 minutes. Same speech, not new content, same content. Observe. Redo the same content after 2 days. What happens is when you do the same content, automatically you start improving your body language. अगर आप कंटेंट बदल देते हो ना तो क्या हो जाता है, आपका ध्यान कंटेंट पे चला जाता है एंड योर बॉडी लैंग्वेज से ध्यान हट जाता है. सो व्हेन यू आर अ स्टार्टर, रीडू द सेम कंटेंट. बोरिंग लगता है बट ट्रस्ट मी, हर चीज में सफल होने के लिए यू हैव टू पुट एफर्ट्स. आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जांपल ऑफ एनी डांस रियलिटी शो. दे आर परफॉर्मिंग फॉर 2 मिनट्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस. 2 मिनट का डांस होता है, पूरे हफ्ते वो 2 मिनट का ही डांस वो कितनी बार, जस्ट इमेजिन द नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स दे मस्ट बी रीडूइंग. मतलब वो कपड़े पहन के भी कितनी बार रीडू करते हैं. सोचो नॉन दो ड्रेस रिहर्सल्स तो करेक्ट. सो यू हैव टू जस्ट कीप द कंटेंट सेम so that your body language is extremely nice. Once you said that, you change the content and try implicating. 6 months down this line, I can guarantee, मतलब तुम जो दाव पे लगाना है लगवा लो, things, आपका 6 महीने पहले का स्पीच का वीडियो और 6 months बाद में का स्पीच का वीडियो में जमीन आसमान, there'll be 200% rise. I can guarantee on anything. मतलब तुमको जो मेरे पास से दाव में लगवाना है लगा लो. ज्यादा जायदाद नहीं है मेरे पास, but whatever that case may be. So I think each CA student, should be a part. So as Vision CA have started, this amazing group, so students can be a part. Young chartered accountants or various such study groups that they are part, is you need to put down to that extra thing so that आप unfamiliar लोगों को मिलो, because बाकी एक जगह ऑफिस में ना we'll always meet familiar people. So where do you find to go and meet unfamiliar people is what the case is. So I think that's where you start improving. The question is not that everybody wants to become a pro public speaker. Not everybody wants to become a Sandeep Maheshwari, right? No, not possible. But given suddenly, एक साल बाद आपके ऑफिस में कुछ है and your manager or anybody tells you, just come and speak few lines. That 2 minutes of your speech has to be like, oh यार, मतलब क्या बोलते हो तुम? It should be that. तो जरूरी नहीं है आप हमेशा हुकुम का पत्ता सबके सामने दिखाओ ना. But at that time, everybody should be in awe. And trust me, in corporates, this makes an impact. This makes an impact. It has worked with me as well. It has worked with me. Just to share you, I have, while in my first year of job, many times given presentations or given being speeches, even when I did not know much of content. तो मेरे मैनेजर्स, मेरे VPs मेरे को बोलते थे, भाई कंटेंट तो बोल दे, बाद में क्वेश्चन आंसर हम ले लेंगे. तो मेरे को तो क्वेश्चन आंसर लेने को आएगा नहीं, मेरे को पीपीटी दिया है, दैट तो मतलब तुम दो मैं एकदम फुल ऑन प्रेजेंट कर सकता हूँ. सो आई डिड दैट एंड देन Q&A आर टेकन केयर ऑफ देम. सो क्या टेक्निकली भी सब कुछ, ऑडियंस इज हैप्पी, एंड प्रेजेंटेशन वाइज आल्सो ऑडियंस इज हैप्पी. सो आई थिंक पीपल नीड टू पुट दैट, एंड ऑल दैट यू नीड इज जस्ट 6 months. 6 months doing something on public speaking, half an hour every day, it works. Or just be part of these different groups that are there. Bombay Charter. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. So I think we've got a lot of groups by the ICI, be a part of those committees, or there's Bombay Chartered Accountant Society, there is CTC, which is the Chamber of Tax Consultants. So a lot of official groups or a lot of, groups that we have. So I think people need to be a part of them so that you get a chance. And the more things that you do regularly, you become master at that, is what I would believe.
Those were some great tips. Preparing a speech, speaking it in front of the mirror or recording it. I mean, there are a lot of CA students who approach us, mentors ki interview aa raha hai, campus placements hai. So how do we prepare ourselves? And they come to us after they've completed their exams and once they have their interview scheduled. तो 15-20 दिन, एक महीने का time होता है where they come and ask us. So this is not something which can be done over a period of say overnight or 15 days. जैसे आपने बताया, it takes say 5 months, 6 months, and this is a practice which you should develop because it will set you apart from others and it will really help you present yourself in a better way. It will help you articulate your skills in a better way. And जो आपने topic की बात करी, that topic can be any topic. It need not necessarily be CA related topic, right? आपको जो पसंद है, maybe movies पसंद है, तो हाँ, मूवी पे एक समरी बना लो शॉर्ट में एंड रिकॉर्ड दैट. So that was a great tip. I feel if you practice this, it will really help you.
In fact, since you just said movie summary, in fact, in GMCS, I still remember when I used to take GMCS sessions. Now, of course, I'm unable to take because of few code of ethics. So typically, we used to give movie reviews to people. So I specifically used to write a movie review, because book review क्या हो जाता है, not everybody has read a book. फिर वो 2-3 दिन में book पढ़ के आने में public क्या इधर उधर से छाप देता है. So I used to typically give movies जो public ने देखा रहेगा. I'll give a movie like Chak De, I'll give a movie like Lagan, or any, of course, अभी तो बहुत सारे ऐसे learnings वाले भी आ गए, which public would have definitely seen. So come and write a review and come and present. So, all this would help people so across. So definitely.
Pro tip to all the viewers.
Yeah. And of course, that being good, I mean, just one particular skill, being good at public speaking, has helped you in so many ways. आप प्रोफेसर भी बन गए, यू वर टीचिंग, एंड ऑफ कोर्स टेक्निकल स्किल्स तो फोटे है, तो यूजिंग दैट पब्लिक स्पीकिंग यू स्टार्टेड टीचिंग स्टूडेंट, आप आईसीआई में जीएमसीएस के लेक्चर्स लेने लगे. So it is one skill which you are developing and with which you can foray into so many different things. So it does really help you.
Okay.
Ritesh bhai, moving on maybe to the next phase. Meet, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, just to summarize that, वो कहते हैं ना, जिसको बोलना आ गया उसको सब कुछ आ गया. एक्चुअली मतलब काम तो कोई भी कर सकता है, लेकिन जो जिसको बोलना आता है वही आगे कर सकता है, आगे बढ़ सकता है.
True.
So one last question to Rudesh bhai, to your any advices you would like to give to the aspirants who are pursuing CA or who have just cleared CA, and who can learn from your learning of your 10 years of journey of after becoming CA?
Let's divide this into one for CA aspirants who are doing CA, and the other is who have qualified CA or young CA members. When I look at CA aspirants, I think what happens is a lot of CA aspirants try to keep themselves very close, कि हमको इतना ही करना है. So I think something that a CA aspirant need to be open कि भाई जो सीखने मिले सीख लो. Today in my 3 years of internship, there is no work that I have not done, and that's what I think I was discussing that the other day with Meet and over a call कि ये काम भी किया है, वो काम भी किया, भले आज वो नहीं कर रहा है, आज मैं शायद वो वाला काम नहीं कर रहा हूँ, but during articleship वो smallest चीजें we used to have possibly interns, colleagues used to be saying अरे ये काम मैं क्यों करेगा, and I used to be like, how does that matter, having and gone those so many stock audits or so many some different type of stock audits that I have done, and I used to love because मेरे को अलग अलग जगह पे जाके लोगों से मिलना पसंद था, roads पता चल जाते थे मुंबई के सब जगह. So that has worked in my favor because I believe something that you learn will always work in your favor at some or the other point in time. So to my quick and request to CA aspirants is, don't keep yourself close. आप जितना अपनी मुट्ठी को बंद करने की कोशिश करोगे ना, आप अंदर वो अकॉर्डिंगली समझ आओगे. So make sure you keep your hand always open and let it come to it doesn't see, of course there will always be a time, last 3 महीने एग्जाम के हो तब आपको सिर्फ पढ़ाई करनी है, do that, no problem. But बाकी टाइम क्या है, बाकी टाइम if you are just along with your office, you're normally studying, it's all right. Why not do up things at that point in time? So I would say CA aspirants, the moment you're done with CA inter and now you have got 3 years of articleship, जिसमें से 2.5 साल के बाद तुम्हारा CA final attempt है. A lot of people may join their class immediately after CA inter, जैसे articleship, no problem, to each on its own. I'll not get into that very specific, but आप फुल पढ़ाई तो 2 साल पहले से नहीं शुरू करने वाले हो, राइट? तो आपके पास ऑफिस में समय है, ऑफिस में भी चीजें इंटरेक्ट करो. जस्ट टू गिव यू एन एग्जांपल, एट डॉइचे बैंक व्हाइल आई वाज वर्किंग, वी हैड अराउंड 300 odd people in my entire floor, on my floor I'm talking about, forget the other floors, on my floor in the entire department. I left after 1.5 year odd, and when I left I knew at least 270 people out of those 300, and वो 270 में से 250 लोग मेरे को जानते थे वापस, और मेरा उनसे कभी कोई लेना देना नहीं होता था. माई टीम, माई वर्क वाज रेस्ट्रिक्टेड टू माई 5-6 पीपल का टीम, बट हम तो फुकट इधर उधर जाओ, पंचायती करो, राइट? सो it just helps you build relations and learn a lot of networking skills and talk skills as well. And when I left Deutsche Bank after 1.5 year, I did not know what I did, but I knew what the entire department and what the entire floor of 250 people, which I have not worked in any department, but I knew what they did. So what happens, your maturity increases. So for CA students, when you go and do an articleship, when you're doing specific vouching, talk to other managers, talk to at your client place कि वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या है. Talk is something that I always have given my interns also, that flow, that freedom कि जाके बिंदास बात करो, even if does not pertain to your work, no problem, काम तुमको खत्म करना है, but ये वाली चीजें will help you in future. So I think that is something which I will give an advice to CA aspirants, and please be a part of various groups that you could be. We should have the concept of you know, like I would say LLB students have these, जैसे हमारे पास तो 3 साल की full articleship होती है, LLB students क्या करते हैं, they do 1 month internships, they do 1 month 3 month internship, पर वो टेक्निकल में करते हैं बिकॉज उनके पास कोई 3 साल की ऐसे टेक्निकल इंटर्नशिप नहीं होती. What CA aspirants should do while they are doing this 3 years of internship in technical, they should do this 1 month wala internship in these non-technical things, which will help them improve, where they have to just give 1 odd hour, possibly, you know, 1-2 hours in a week's time. I think that's what my suggestion for CA aspirants have to be. For young chartered accountants, explore for the next 2 years when you qualify. You're going to work at least for 30 years. If you qualify at 22, 23, 24, 25, chalo multiple attempts, lucky be 25 you clear, you're going to work till 55, right? Matlab, nobody is going to be like, I'll retire at 35, 40. Usse bolne ki baat hai, Mukesh Ambani also does not retire, right? Mukesh Ambani sir does not retire today also. No, he's going to work. So you're going to work for the next 30 years, very typically. So it's absolutely all right to explore for the first 2 years, you know, work in different fields if you're not sure shot in which things you want to work. If you're sure shot के जीवन में यही करने का पीछे 5%, no problem, go ahead. Otherwise, a lot of people may come and tell you कि अरे यार तूने ये किया है, तू ये क्या कर रहा है. It's all right. It's okay. Why? Because your 2 years of your starting will not necessarily determine कि तुम्हारा next 30 years कैसा होगा. Does not work that. People will come and scare you, but you don't have to get scared. So don't worry. I'll give you quickly a friend of mine example, and all examples are real examples, are not made up examples. So I have a friend who cleared CA in second attempt, not even a first attempt, but she's brilliant, but cleared CA in second attempt because we know how CA course works, right? So her articleship was in tax, but she wanted to do financial markets and all that stuff. Articleship was in tax. Post that, she did all odd jobs of 3 months, 6 months. I think 1 year में उसने 3 jobs change कर ले. And finally, she got a job in a corporate MNC, financial markets, bank, credit mein. She's currently in US in the same bank which she got transferred from India to US. She worked for 3 years over here. She got a permanent transfer. She settled well there. So, wo sab, you know, a lot of people will scare you, but we've got numerous examples, real life. If you do not get examples, come to me. I'll give you the name and contact numbers. You can talk to them. It's as simple. So, young chartered accountants, एक्सप्लोर योरसेल्फ. जो चीजें अभी तक नहीं करी, करने की थोड़ी सी इच्छा हो अगर मन में, सीए बनने के बाद तुरंत फर्स्ट 2 इयर्स में कर लो, फर्क नहीं पड़ता, नो प्रॉब्लम. मैक्सिमम क्या हो गया, 2 साल तुम वो उतना नहीं कमा पाओगे जितना शायद तेरे फ्रेंड ने कमाया, नो प्रॉब्लम. समथिंग आफ्टर 10 years you will not be able to do and leave things, you know, because तभी सैलरी हाई होगी, अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट ज्यादा होगा. अभी सैलरी कंपैरेटिवली उस टाइम से कम होगी तो अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट अकॉर्डिंगली लोअर रहेगा. So it's fine to explore. Things work out, superb. Doesn't work out, no problem. It was not possibly meant for you. And I think look for societal change that you can be a part of. पैसा तो सब कमा लेंगे. There are 3 things in life we work for: authority, achievement, affiliation. Everybody achieves everything. Everybody will achieve everything depending on what our aspirations and desires are. उसके बाद बचता है authority and affiliation. Affiliation means networking or fame, and authority वैसे positions where you would want to give back to society. Explore, be a part of societal change wherever you could be. If you can make a difference even to 1 person, 2 people. अगर आपको पढ़ाना ही है, not necessarily you go to some hi-fi great institute and start teaching. You know, start teaching in your own colony, in maybe social service, you know, 5th standard student, does not matter, right? I mean, there's no problem in that. So I think anywhere you could be a part of societal change, I think that is something which is very much needed. And I would just want to make very quick this thing. Since ICA elections are coming in, not all chartered accountants do go and vote. The voting percentage till date has been less than 40%. Imagine 100 CAs में से 40 लोग से vote करने जाते हैं. And Mumbai voting percentage has been lower than that. Whom do you go and vote is your, you know, close right. And you may not even tell somebody कि मैं किसको vote करने वाला है. That's all right. It's like public elections, you have CA elections. Whom do you vote? But to go and vote is your duty, because otherwise हम social media पे आके Instagram पे, LinkedIn पे बड़ा वीडियो बनाएंगे, you know, we'll write great LinkedIn write up, there should be this, there should be that, you know, ये वो नहीं करता, वो नहीं करता, super, no problem. तुम क्या कर रहे हो? It is either thing. Either तुम मैदान में खड़े रह जाओ, या तुम मैदान में जो खड़े लोग रह रहे हैं उनको कुछ तो करो यार. So it goes. So just an appeal to anybody who watches the video, you know, if you're a chartered accountant, make sure to go and vote. Whom do you vote is your own right, and you know, you may not even tell to somebody. But making sure to go and vote is, and 90% of the industry chartered accountants do not go and vote is the history. So I think young CAs like you need to make sure that all the young chartered accountants, even if they are from industry, should go and vote, you know, because you don't know when you need them, or, you know, when institute will be happy to serve you guys. And you should be happy, you know, to serve your alma mater as well. Why not? So young CAs, explore, and don't worry, life is too big, yaar. And there is nothing to be very sad or very happy about. Don't get, you know, frictioned by someone else's success. Not everybody got 100 out of 100 in school in every paper, right? There was somebody who got 100, there was somebody who got 90, and there was somebody who got 50 as well. So it's all right, right? Things change from there to today. Things will change from today to 5 years down the line as well. So keep working, keep trusting your work, and keep belief in God. God bless you.
थैंक यू सो मच रुदेश भाई. मीत ने एक्चुअली टाइम को देखते हुए ये बोल दिया कि दिस हैज टू बी द लास्ट क्वेश्चन, but I did not realize we have maybe crossed over an hour or maybe 50 minutes.
So it's exact 2:30. I stopped myself exact 2:31 speech. So I'm used to this, you know, timer speech time. So, you know, automatically वो sentence वहीं पे close होते हैं.
I wish we could have continued करते रहते बात. It is always such a pleasure to hear you.
Explore पे एक point I would like to add, भले record में जाए नहीं जाए. Exploring में what जो आपने बोला 2 साल clear करने के बाद 2 साल explore करो, because you never know कि क्या click हो जाए. Plus उसमें और एक point है, you are of the age of 25-26, जहाँ पे first 2 साल या 23-24 में आपका first 2 साल आएगा, wherein your parents are also earning. So you have that liberty कि आपको वो responsibility नहीं आ गया. When you're 10 years down the line, 30-35, wherein you have all the responsibilities, तो तभी exploring would be very difficult. So अभी explore करना is easy as compared to exploring at the age of 35.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, when we say explore, does not mean that you're not earning anything, yaar.
Obviously.
So depending on each one's financial constraints, if you are financially issue नहीं है, तो तुम पूरा explore कर लो, all in time. अगर ऐसा है, you can always start earning and still explore things. People do work, right? People work for 16 hours a day. You know, for the first 2 years, करो, क्या tension है? मेहनत ही करना है, right? I think absolutely.
Exactly.
So जो भी opportunities आ रही है, use your hands, take that opportunity and do your best. And आपने जो example बताया कि किसी को 90 आता है, किसी को 100 आता है, किसी को 50 आता है, you see all three of them 15 years down the road, तीनों अपनी life में कुछ अच्छा ही कर रहे होंगे. Everybody would be satisfied and happy. So yeah, thanks a lot Ritesh bhai for such kind words and such insightful knowledge that you have imparted to all of us, CAs, non-CAs, maybe whoever watches this video. I'm sure they'll learn something out of it.